Before we get onto the video, a quick message for all my subs. Now, there's a huge problem on YouTube where some of my subscribers did not get to see my videos when I upload them. I don't exactly know what's going on YouTube. You know, there's always a problem on YouTube, but it's happening to other YouTubers as well. Even some of my subs message me saying, yo, some of my videos do not appear on your subscription box, subscription feed. So what I want you guys to do is click on the notification bell next to the subscription so you guys would get notifications when I upload a video. But the algorithms on YouTube right now are just messed up, so you know, it's no surprise some of my videos would not show up on some of you guys' subscription box. You know, there's something definitely going on. So this is the only thing I can tell you guys to do right now if you don't want to miss out on any of my videos in the future. So definitely hit that notification bell. I would appreciate if you do it, but let's get on to the video. Yo, what's up guys, and today we're going to be talking about the 3 calamities in Kaido's crew. Well, more so the other 2 calamities that we don't know anything about. So we're basically going to be speculating a lot and using little evidence from the manga. Now, before we dive deep into this video, one of the biggest questions in the community is whether Jack is the weakest calamity. Now, going by what we saw in Oda's office, whereas Kaido's crew is based off the card game, Jack being Jack, then you have Queen, then King, then Kaido himself. Now, while it shows that Jack is at the bottom, I do think Kaido's crew is probably well-rounded in terms of strength, whereas the gap between each commander isn't like too crazy or like too large, and they're probably really close in terms of strength. But I definitely think the person who has the King title is the strongest calamity, but the gap isn't too crazy from the others, but he's the strongest. Think of it like Cracker and Katakuri. Cracker is definitely giving Katakuri a high diff fight, so you know, there's a slight gap, but it's not too huge like that. And also the Viz manga states that Jack is actually a close confidant of Kaido, not actually his right hand man. So there's definitely some translation issues that, you know, makes us confused and everything there. But technically the top 3 commander of a Yonko are technically all right hands, but the term that would differentiate the strongest would be the first mate. You know, the first mate is always the strongest, and the first mate always has like a vibe aura to him. Ben Beckman, Marco, and Katakuri. We haven't seen Kaido's right hand, so we can expect a similar vibe off of that individual. Now, we know Jack has the title of Drought, and I agree with the theory that they might be based off of the 4 horsemen of apocalypse. Shout out to Brago the Ace. The Queen would be like Pestilence, and the King would be like War, and Kaido himself would be Death, and you know, Jack is the Drought. Now, if there's one trait I think Kaido's crew is gonna have, it would be mixed races or rare species. I feel like Kaido takes a liking to people who are similar to him. For example, Jack is a hybrid of like a human and a fishman, and there's one other guy we see in like chapter 895 or 795, and he looks a lot similar to Jack and Dillinger, which could mean Kaido's crew might be similar to Big Mom, where he just has different races, but not for the same reason Big Mom has hers. Probably because they're strong, or they have like some kind of trait that makes them like, you know, beastly, which aligns well with the theme of how Kaido isn't human, so he wouldn't want regular people in his crew. I also feel like the other commanders, King and Queen, would also be like a mixed or rare species like Pudding. We know there's actually other species out there other than the ones we know of, the long arm, the long leg, and all those guys. There's other exotic species like it says on the list at Subodi. Now, apart from just human and fishman hybrids, there's another mixture we have seen, and one people tend to forget about, and it was during the Davy Back fight. Now, the giant Big Pan, I think that was his name, that was there, he was actually a mixture between a giant and a fishman. So I wouldn't be surprised if the King or the Queen Calamity is like a mixture between like a mink and a giant, or some weird combination that makes them like abnormal and a lot similar to their own captain, who is a creature. We don't know what Kaido is, but I think he's like a mixture of different races where he has different traits of different animals or creatures, and you know, he's just a combination of all of those things into one body. But yeah, I'll leave that for another video. Now, the Queen Calamity, I think I might have a clue what devil fruit she might have. Now, we know that Jack's main ship has a mammoth in front of it, kind of symbolizing his devil fruit ability. Now, when Jack was coming back to Zou after his attempt to get Doflamingo back, I noticed that he had ships that had scorpions in front of it. Could this possibly relate to the Calamity that has a Zoan devil fruit ability of a scorpion? And if you think about it, it makes sense to some degree. We know that Jack went for Doflamingo and got destroyed by Fujitora and Sengoku. I don't know what he was thinking there, and he was probably put in the sea, and you know, people thought he was dead, but we know Jack can breathe underwater, so he was good. So someone must have sent their troops to get Jack, because we know Jack can move in the water, so he definitely needs help. And if you notice, the ships that came back with him had no damages, so they were not involved with the fight against Fujitora and Jack. I think in the anime they showed him going against 4 ships. He only came in 1 ship, and he came back to Zou with 3 ships, so he got some reinforcement. I don't think that was his underlings. I feel like those were like the underlings of the Queen Calamity. So I think it would make sense if another Calamity sent a group to get Jack out of the water. And going by the scorpion we see in front of the ship, I think it might be the troops of the Queen Calamity. And going by the title of Pestilence, which relates to disease or infection or something like that, the scorpion would be a good representation of that disaster, because you know scorpion uses poison. So it would make sense that the Queen Calamity has an ancient or a regular scorpion devil fruit, which will be kind of crazy because we haven't seen that yet. But when it comes down to the King Calamity, again, we don't know anything about these guys. We can only speculate. Now the King Calamity may represent war, going by the theory, which a lot of people think it might be like a chimera zone, or I definitely think it's going to be like a mythical like Marco. And now that we've actually seen an advanced version of observation haki with Katsukuri, where you can see the future for a couple of seconds, I think we might get to see an advanced version of ornament haki in Kaido's crew, specifically from the right hand man. I think it might be a lot similar to what the admirals were doing at Marineford. The wall hockey thing. I think a couple of dudes can actually do it, where they can essentially block Hack's devil fruit abilities with it. We saw during Marineford that the admirals were capable of deflecting a quake attack from Whitebeard just with their hockey. And there's also something Rayleigh and Sentomori has shown to a degree. I'm not sure what level they're at. Rayleigh's kind of old and Sentomori is kind of a youngster, I'd say, but we're gonna see the exact version we saw with the admirals, or even something higher than that. And we should also get an explanation about it, because Oda just keeps stuff in the dark sometimes. It's up to the readers to come up with their own conclusion, and you know that's where a lot of arguments begin. We should definitely get an explanation about how that wall hockey works, because hockey, again, it's a vague thing. We don't know much about it, but you know that's just the way Oda works. So I do feel like the King Calamity will have a mythical and crazy ornament hockey, which is a trait of Kaido's crew, which shows they're physically strong and how durable they are. We've seen that with Jack, you know, took a island level attack to the face and still alive. I also think he's gonna have a mythical zone. Now people say Jack is Kaido's right hand man. Now the reason I don't think so is because his devil fruit is a bit underwhelming, and Oda doesn't treat Yonko's right hand man with disrespect like that. I know it's a island level attack he got hit with, but still Oda just doesn't do that with right hands. He does that with Cracker, he does that with his third or second strongest Yonko commander, but not the first. Ben Beckman, Marco, all these guys, all top tier, and they're usually only defeated by someone who is higher than them, the Yonko or an admiral basically. And I don't think the ancient mammoth's devil fruit is something that would represent a right hand man in the sense of its power, because it's a bit underwhelming when you look at the other right hand mans. You know, Katsukuri has a Logia, a rare Logia, Marco has a mythical Zoan Phoenix devil fruit, Ben Beckman probably has one of the best observation and ornament haki in the series. I would expect Kaido's right hand man to have something overwhelming devil fruit and haki wise, again with the wall haki and a mythical Zoan, maybe a chimera, who knows. So the King Calamity is going to be a problem in Wano. I think it's probably going to take multiple individuals to take him down. I don't know, maybe he fights solo with Marco, you know, mythical Zoan versus mythical Zoan, and maybe, you know, that's where Marco gets his first win, because you know Oda is like gave this man so many L's, so maybe that puts him back to where he was, because Marco is just taking so many L's in One Piece. But no, that's pretty much all for this video. Comment down below what you think, like the video if you liked it, subscribe for more One Piece content on my channel. It is Pharaoh, and I will see you guys later. Also hit the notification bell, because again YouTube, I don't know what's going on. People don't see my videos in their subscription feed, so definitely hit notification bell. It is Pharaoh, guys, and I will see you guys later. Peace.